India celebrates its 77th Independence Day. And on this special occasion, we pay our tribute to those defending our country's borders. In Jammu and Kashmir, in Ladakh, in Punjab and in Rajasthan. From the hills to the plains to the desert, the Army's preparedness has evolved to incorporate the latest technological developments that provide us with an edge against our adversaries. Our reporters Shivani Sharma, Rishabh Pratap, Pradeep Datta and Yavar Shafi get you all the insights. First up, we begin with the Pokhran integrated firepower demonstration.
In this integrated firepower demonstration, you can see the Rudra helicopter of the aviation of Indian Army. This is Rudra, which is participating in this integrated fire demonstration, and it will fire the bus of 20 mm cannon, which is integrated on this. What you see behind me are the BMPs of the mechanized infantry of the Indian Army that are participating in this integrated firepower demonstration, and they will be targeting the enemy tanks here along with the T-90 Bhishma and the Arjun tanks. And here you see these BMPs, which are also used for the movement of the infantrymen, armored men in the battlefield, and you will see now how they fire and damage the enemy tanks. Now you see the entry of T-90 tanks in the battlefield, and they will be participating in this firepower exercise along with the main battle tank Arjun. So here in Pokhran field firing ranges, these are the exclusive pictures that you are witnessing from the integrated firepower demo of the Indian Army that keeps its battle ready. To know more about the strength of Arjun, I have the officer himself who is operating these tanks in the battlefield. A very warm welcome on Times Now. Sir, we would like to know about the range, the strength, and what makes Arjun so unique.
Arjun is not only in the country one of the most powerful tanks in the world, and as per its firing, it's one of the most accurate tanks in the world. So especially it's known for its firing. And not only in the country, I would say its firepower and its mobility. It's one of the heaviest engines in the world. It's a 1400 horsepower engine. So, of course, there's no terrain that it cannot traverse.
And especially when we talk of getting stronger with Atmanirbharta, how does it feel when you are a part of this?
Okay, so it's a very, I can very proudly say that this tank has been indigenously developed by our country, and in any terrain at any point of time of the day, this tank can defeat any other tank in the world. So I can, and I'm not just saying that because of specifications. I can say it because I've operated this in this terrain, and you can see around this nothing you can depend on in this terrain. It's just you and this tank, and yet it fights the toughest battles and always wins.
We are on a T-90 Bhishma tank. The T-90 Bhishma tank is deployed along the LAC after the Galwan incident happened in 2020. And these tanks are the firepower enhancers of Indian Army's armored regiments. And here in Pokhran field firing ranges, when we see these tanks moving, it means that the Indian Army is preparing itself each day for war on the two front. And when we are on this T-90 Bhishma tank, we really feel proud that Indian Army is keeping our borders secure in every situation. So in the harsh weather conditions, these tanks are performing their maneuverability, their serviceability, their endurance, and their long ranges, and the ability to fire with accurate pinpoint accuracy is also what makes them one of the world's best tanks.
see behind me is tank T90. It's a medium weight class tank. It comprises of a crew of 3 people. For the firing per se, it has got a 125mm smoothbore gun, and to engage aerial targets, it has got a machine gun NSVT. To engage targets at a small range or a close range, it has got a 7.62 mm PKT. For the firing capability, it has got a range of 5 kilometers both by day and night, and can also fire a missile. For the protection, it has got ERA panels upon it, which provides inherent protection to it. And for the endurance part, once full, it can tread up to 550 kilometers and can attain a speed of 60 kilometers per hour.
In 1971, the Battle of Longewala stood out for the sheer audacity of Indian soldiers who were numbering a few hundred and who successfully halted Pakistan's advance on the border in Rajasthan.
When Pakistan entered the Western Front in 1971 with 3,000 soldiers, the 120 soldiers of the Indian Army, they chased these soldiers back and they captured 37 tanks from the enemy. This is one of the tanks that was captured by the Indian Army, and what you see here is the turned down flag of Pakistan. This is a tradition by the Indian Army. Wherever in battles they capture enemy weapons, enemy tanks, they always put them as a souvenir. And this is the Sherman tank of the Pakistan's army that had tried to intrude into the Indian territory in the Western Front, and the Battle of Longewala is still the biggest battles for the Indian Army in the history. The Battle of Longewala gave tough lessons to Pakistan. This is the Longevana War Memorial. Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrated his Diwali in 2020 in Longewala. And after that, in 2021, this war memorial was renovated. The weapons used by Indian Army at that time were placed here, along with the machine guns, the hunter aircrafts, and also the bursts of those officers who laid down their lives in the Battle of Longewala. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in war. And here what we see is the unarmed combat. The Indian Army trains its soldiers not only to win the battle with weapons in their hands, but also without weapons. Whether the enemy is from Western Sector or the Northern Sector, these Jawans are ever ready to take the enemy without weapons in hands too. And this is the unarmed combat drill that's taking place here in the desert, in harsh sunlight, in high temperature. And this is, you see how these soldiers keep themselves battle ready with the new techniques of the unarmed combat skill. And these are the Jawans of the infantry unit who are now training to combat the enemy without any weapon in their hand. The infantry leads the battle, and in their hands are the weapons that take the enemy in a direct fire. And the Indian Army is enhancing itself, it is modernizing, it is replacing the older version of the weapons with the new ones. Like we have the Negev, which is from Israel. This is the light machine gun. This is the new weapon which the Indian Army soldiers are getting now. Another one is the Sig Sauer rifle. This is from America. And most of the infantry units are now replacing the older guns, the INSAS guns, with this particular rifle because this is lighter in weight. It is better in range. It is easier to handle for the troops. We'll talk more about these weapons and how they have increased the strength of our infantry with the users of these weapons. I have with me the JCO of this Paltan. साहब आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत टाइम्स नाउ पर. ये जो वेपन्स हम देख रहे हैं, ये 600 राइफल कैसे बेहतर है ये पुरानी राइफल?
देखिए, जो इंसास राइफल थी वो भी काफी बेहतर ही. ये तकरीबन उससे सिमिलर ही है. इसके सिर्फ कैलिबर में फर्क है, बाकी दोनों की एक्यूरेसी तकरीबन बराबर है. और ये जैसे कि अभी आपको बताया कि ये एक इम्पोर्टेड वेपन है, यूएसए का बना हुआ है. बाकी इसका रेंज, कैलिबर और इसका जो फायर करने की क्षमता है वो तकरीबन बराबर ही है.
और यहाँ पर हम एलएमजी भी देख रहे हैं. एलएमजी का क्या रोल होता है जब आप लड़ाई के मैदान में होते हो? दुश्मन के से सामना हो जाए तो किस तरह से आप एलएमजी इस्तेमाल करते हो, और ये जो एलएमजी इजराइल की ये कैसे बेहतर है पुरानी?
देखिए, एलएमजी हमारा एक स्पोर्ट वेपन है। एलएमजी से हम ऑटोमेटिक फायर करते हैं। ये वाली एलएमजी, इससे पहले हम इंसास एलएमजी यूज करते हैं, वो भी हमारे पास अभी है, और नेगो एलएमजी का भी हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। इन दोनों में फर्क खाली इतना है कि इंसास एलएमजी में हम मैगजीन यूज करके इस्तेमाल करते थे, और इसमें जिस प्रकार एमएमजी में बेल्ट चढ़ता है, इसमें भी बेल्ट का इस्तेमाल करके इसकी फायर पावर को बढ़ा सकते हैं।
सो दिस इज सिक्सॉर्ड, दिस इज नेगेव, एंड दिस वन इज द स्नाइपर फॉर अ पिन पॉइंट एक्यूरेट फायर। ये जो स्नाइपर राइफल हमको यहाँ दिखाई दे रही है, ये कैसे वार करती है दुश्मन के ऊपर?
देखिए,
किस तरह से, जैसे आतंकवादी जो आते हैं उनके ऊपर इसका इस्तेमाल होता है?
देखिए, जैसे आप लोगों ने काफी मूवीज में भी देखा होगा कि स्नाइपर का इस्तेमाल जो इम्पोर्टेंट टारगेट जहाँ इसको जो न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए किया जाता है। ये ड्रैगनोम स्नाइपर राइफल है जो रशिया का बना हुआ है, जो कि सेमी ऑटोमेटिक काम करता है। इसका इस्तेमाल हम काउंटर टेररिस्ट या काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी वाले एरिया में टेररिस्ट को न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए, और अगर ट्रेनिंग में इसका हम इस्तेमाल करते रहते हैं शांति काल के दौरान, ताकि अगर हमें किसी प्रकार का कोई टास्क मिले तो हम इस स्नाइपर का इस्तेमाल करते हुए दिए हुए टास्क को अच्छी तरह से पूरा कर सके।
So these are the handheld weapons that are used by the infantry units of the Indian Army, and most of the units are now taking the new weapons. The Indian Army is getting new versions of these weapons to make the power lethal for these infantry units. This is the LSV, the specially designed light surveillance vehicle out here, which is designed for the desert terrain, and this is used for patrolling purposes and for movement from one location to other location. And what you see behind me are the special commandos of the Indian Army that use this particular vehicle. They are also deployed here in the desert sector, and these vehicles are lighter, they can strike better, they can move better, they have weapons on them, and these are designed specially for the terrains of the desert. And you see the uniform, the attire of these commandos. This is specially designed for the desert terrain with a camo uniform, which is for the desert sector. They are deployed here for vigilance and for the patrolling purposes in this location of the desert. There are infantry soldiers who patrol this area on foot, but these vehicles give an added strength to the Indian Army for vigilance.
Improving connectivity in our border areas has been a priority for the Narendra Modi government and our armed forces. The Zojila Tunnel project is one such example.
Zojila Tunnel is constructed from Minamag to Baltal. Total length is 14.15 km. Revised length is 13.15 km. Constructed start from Apli all-weather road. This will connect Kashmir Valley to Ladakh regions all the time.
We are bringing you an exclusive reportage from under construction Zojila Tunnel. The tunnel that will connect Jammu and Kashmir to Ladakh. Till now, there was only one road, NH1A, that connected Jammu and Kashmir to Ladakh. One of the most strategic road, but this strategic road had a hindrance. Weather was inevitable, and the snowfall would block it every year for almost 5 months. This 14.15 kilometer long tunnel will give an uninterrupted passage between Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. It will not only be beneficial for the defense establishment, but also for the civilians and the trade between the two union territories.
Drones have changed the dynamics of both surveillance and warfare. How is India really keeping up? Pradeep Datta gets us this report from the Amritsar sector.
usage of drone has changed dynamics of asymmetric warfare. Hardly a day passes when there is no intrusion from Pakistan side. Often this aerial intrusion is meant to drop arms and ammunition, to drop narcotics. They're not only indoctrinating and brainwashing young minds, but they're also trying to poison blood of youngsters here in Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. And that's one of the reasons that specialized training is being provided to the soldiers here on the ground, that how to detect movement of drone and how to shoot down this drone. Kitna bada challenge? How big this is a challenge so far as the drone intrusion is concerned?
Bilkul, this is an emerging challenge. Basically, this is drone technology is an emerging technology, and it has become a very tough, or we can say it has been an increasing challenge for border guarding force.
So, what kind of a training you are providing to the soldiers on the ground?
So basically, I am briefing my boys and girls that they should know the sound of the humming out, buzzing sound we call of a drone. So while performing their duties in night, they can, if they hear this sound, first they need to alert those who are on duties, and also those are on the depth, and even the vehicle or motorcycle patrolling which are performing their duty over there. So what basically we do when they get to know about this drone intrusion, and they also on duty, they also track where the possible direction of drone may go towards.
What kind of a drone Pakistan is normally using to drop arms and ammunition?
Basically, they are using either quadcopter or hexacopter nowadays.
How is the Josh?
Pradeep also spoke to women warriors of the Border Security Force, their hopes, their challenges and their preparedness.
Courage is not confined to any particular gender. Our women BSF personnel exemplify this truth every day. They stand tall like fearless protector, guarding one of the most dangerous frontiers of the country. I am right now here in Amritsar Sector, and you can see that before going for the forward post duty, they are cleaning their weapon. Look at their Jazba and Junoon. Let me ask them, how is the Josh?
Very high, sir.
Josh is always high, and that is one feels like saluting. They are the one who stand like a wall on the border. They are the one who are there like a rock ready to take bullets on their body. It is with that unwritten commitment and lakshya that at any cost they have to ensure safety, security and integrity of the country. घबराहट नहीं हुई जब आपने बीएसएफ ज्वाइन किया और आपको मालूम था कि ये सरहद है, अक्सर यहाँ पे चैलेंजेस बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं, कभी कोई घबराहट?
जब सीने पे वर्दी पहन ली तो फिर घबराहट की तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. यही अब हमारी कर्म है और यही पूजा है.
क्या कहना चाहेंगे देशवासियों को?
देशवासियों को हम यही कहना चाहेंगे, सरहद पर हम खड़े हैं, उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए 24 घंटे तैनात हैं, तो उनको किसी भी चीज़ की कोई परेशानी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
मुझे एक बात बताइए, कभी ऐसा लगता है कि आदमी और औरत में कोई डिफरेंस है? कभी ऐसा लगता है कि जो आदमी जवान है वो ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग है या कुछ ऐसा?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ वो नहीं है कि हाँ आदमी हमसे ज़्यादा है, जहाँ हम उनसे सभी बराबर हैं यहाँ.
यानी कि सभी जवान हैं, सभी देश के लिए?
बिल्कुल, सभी देश के लिए.
क्या कहना चाहते हैं अपने परिवार वालों को भी और देश वालों को भी?
परिवार वालों को ये है कि कोई चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. हम जहाँ सभी बहुत अच्छे हैं और सभी देशवासियों को भी कोई फिक्र करने की जरूरत नहीं.
कितना जोश है, कितना जज्बा है, ड्यूटी के लिए जा रहे हैं?
वेरी हाई.
हमेशा?
यस सर.
ऐसे ही रहता है?
यस सर.
इंडिपेंडेंस डे पे कितना आप मतलब सतर्क हैं, क्योंकि काफ़ी इंटेलिजेंस इनपुट्स होते हैं कि घुसपैठ के या कुछ?
हमारे लिए चाहे यहाँ पे इंडिपेंडेंस हो, रिपब्लिक डे हो, हर दिन हमारे लिए यहाँ पे समान है. हम देश की सेवा में ये नहीं मानते कि आज रिपब्लिक डे है तो हम ज़्यादा सतर्क रहेंगे. हम हमेशा यहाँ अपनी पूरी ईमानदारी और मन से ड्यूटी करते हैं.
लेकिन पाकिस्तान की तरफ से अक्सर कोशिश रहती है, जब भी हमारा कोई बड़ा दिन होता है तो उनकी कोशिश रहती है कुछ घुसपैठ कराने की या ड्रोन के द्वारा हथियार भेजने की या हालात ख़राब करने की. तो उसको कैसे डील कर रहे हैं आप?
हम हमेशा तैयार हैं उनके हर इरादों को नाकाम करने के लिए.
किस तरीके से आप तैयार हैं, क्योंकि क्या कहना चाहेंगे पाकिस्तान को?
हम तो हर तरीके से तैयार है, बस उन्हें अद में रहने की ज़रूरत है. वो अगर अमन से रहेंगे तो उनके लिए अच्छा रहेगा, क्योंकि वैसे भी बर्बाद हो चुके हैं. अगर कुछ किया तो और ज़्यादा बर्बाद करने के लिए हम तैयार खड़े.
भारत माता की जय! भारत माता की जय!
Let's move further north. Yawar interacted with soldiers in the Unarmed Sector in Kupwara. where there have been several attempts at infiltration that have been foiled by our Jawans.
In our continued coverage from the ground zero along the line of control in the Nogam sector, we are showing you that ahead of the Independence Day, how the security forces, the BSF, are guarding the borders in the Kashmir Valley. Now remember that there have been the series of attempts, infiltration bids over the past few months, and which is in fact an indication that the next couple of months could be tough on the line of control, particularly in Kashmir, where almost all traditional infiltration routes are open after melting the snow. Now remember that though the three-tier grid along with the surveillance equipments on the line of control has made it tougher for infiltrators to sneak into the Kashmir, only in June and July there have been the 5 infiltration attempts that were being made. In fact, 14 of the intruders have been gunned down, and the huge cache of arms and ammunition was recovered from the killed infiltrators. Now remember that in the Kupwara sector, there has been the number of infiltration attempts that were made in the Machal sector. Thus, that particular wave, the posts in the Nogam sector have been heightened, the security there have been heightened, and the BSF, they are ensuring that there would be no untoward incident ahead of the Independence Day. We will have a word with some of the Jawans who have laid down the ambush along the line of control in the Nogam sector. तो सर ये बताएं कि इंडिपेंडेंस डे जो है वो आ रहा है, तो इंडिपेंडेंस डे पर जो है सुरक्षा की कैसी तैयारियां रहती है लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर?
सुरक्षा की तैयारी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बढ़ा दी जाती है और हम लोग देश की सेवा के लिए हमेशा तत्पर खड़े रहते हैं, और हम देशवासियों से यही अपील करते हैं कि वो आराम से स्वतंत्रता दिवस घर में खुशी खुशी से मनाएं, और हम यहाँ उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए एलसी पर तैनात हैं।
तो चाहे बारिश हो, बर्फ़ हो, तेज़ आंधी हो या धूप हो, धूप की तपिश हो, लगातार जो है पेट्रोलिंग वो लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर होती है, तो उस वक्त कैसा फील आपको अपने देश के लिए होता है, और क्या मैसेज एक आती है आपके लिए जो आप देशवासियों को देना चाहते हैं?
एक देशवासियों का सहारा है, जुनून मिलता है कि हम एक सिंगल बंदा देश की सुरक्षा में खड़े हैं, घर से 2000 किलोमीटर की दूरी पे होके भी तैनात, हम देश की सुरक्षा के लिए तत्पर अपने तन मन धन से लगे हुए हैं, एलसी पे ड्यूटी और पेट्रोलिंग पूरा अच्छे तरीके से निभा रहा हूँ अपना कर्तव्य को।
जहाँ पर हम श्रीमान तैनात हैं वहाँ मैं अपने देशवासियों को उत्साह वर्धन करना चाहता हूँ कि हम देश की सेवा में 24 आवर्स तत्पर रहेंगे। वो हमारे देश के लिए हमारे उत्साह बढ़ाने के लिए तैयार है। हम उनके लिए अपनी बेशक जान चली जाए, लेकिन मैं अपनी सीमा को चौकन्ना हमेशा रखूँगा, और पेट्रोलिंग अम्बुश के सहारे से हमेशा उसको हम सुरक्षित रखेंगे, अपने देश की सीमाओं को।
हर कर्म अपना करेंगे, हर कर्म अपना करेंगे।
Besides guarding the line of control, the music is the only thing that keeps the Jawans, feel energetic and keep their soul alive along the line of control. And in fact, you can hear that they are singing. The cultural programs are being conducted on the special occasion of the Independence Day.
वतन तेरे लिए हर कर्म अपना करेंगे, हर कर्म अपना करेंगे, ए वतन तेरे लिए दिल दिया है, जान भी देंगे, ए तेरे लिए ला 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 ला।
Our soldiers remain on vigil, continue to keep our borders secure, and as we've seen during the course of the show, the armed forces have also been endeavouring to stay ahead of the curve in terms of our technological prowess to combat more sophisticated means of infiltration, insurgency and warfare.